I'm going to talk about this for a second, just for a bit. I don't want to make a video because it's going to put a lot of space on, it's going to put a lot of storage capacity on my phone. I don't have too much space because I was playing Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis and stuff like that. But I wanted to talk about this stuff about Final Fantasy 16. I really want to talk about it. It's been angering me, as you guys have been seeing recently. Let me clean my camera up real quick. Clean up all that dust off. Um, I've been wanting to. Now, don't get me wrong. I saw the new control types. I like this control type. It's by far the most playable compared to Type C. But I'm gonna rant about this because I love this game. Now, don't think I'm a hater because I'm on Final Fantasy mode. It says right there, and I've been playing the game for 51 hours. I beat the game on stream. I love this game. One of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. I do not hate this game at all. Got my Odin abilities. I got everything in a game. Just to show you that I'm not a hater. I love this game. This is just literal criticism because I love this series. I love this game. Now, they did a good thing by removing the motion blur and giving us more control types and stuff like that. No performance update yet, but I hope in the next patch you guys fix this. Yoshi P needs to address this as soon as possible. We either need a control type, like a different control type, or a straight up button remapping. Now, every game out there, including Final Fantasy XIV and Crisis Core, not Final Fantasy VII Remake, but they do have an option to flip the L2 and R2, not the L2, R2, L1 and R1 buttons, so you can have L1 to guard and R1 for your shortcuts, which is pretty badass. But the problem is with this, like the literal problem is there's no button remaps, and they could have done this controls way, way better. So let's look at A for a second. And the way how I would have done this, and I hope they implement this in some sort of update, some sort of thing they do, maybe like not an overhaul, but something they can do to alleviate this problem. Now, I can't stand the controller lore. So the way how they could have done this, it's a short video. Don't worry about it, guys. The way how they could have done this, now hear me out. Now you have to press L2 to cycle through your commands, not commands, but your icons or stances, styles, whatever you want to call them in DMC terms. Now, if you look at the way it looks, it kind of looks like you can select them from the D-pad. Naturally, as a Devil May Cry player, you would think the D-pad would be how you select your stances. So, for instance, up would be Odin, left could be Shiva, and down would be Garuda. No, that's not how it works. It works by pressing the L2 button. Now, this kind of gets a little bit frustrating because you'll be selecting your stances and then sometimes you'll get confused. Most of the time when I play this game, I'm actually looking at the bottom right the whole time. I'm not even looking at the game most of the time. I'm just looking on the bottom right to see what's ready and what am I choosing and what am I not choosing. And to be honest, there needs to be some indication that I'm selecting that stance. And the way how they could have done it was simply doing this. So you have D-pads for selecting your potions, selecting Torgal, and selecting other commands for your healing and your support. So D-pad is your support. I get that. What you could have done easily uh Yoshi P, the business creative, creative business unit 3, what they could have done was something so simple. You have to hold R2 to bring up your abilities. Yeah? Okay. You could have freed up so much time and so much space if you could have done this. You get L2, right? You hold it down, and then and then it says right there, it would say right there, hold down L2 and and then you can select from the D-pad. What stance do you want? So up would be Odin, left would be Shiva, down would be Garuda, or whatever you have set up in your deck. I think this one simple combat or whatever control type you have, maybe if you want to have hold triangle and then use the D-pad to select your stances, that would have been perfect. Whatever button you would have, that would have been perfect. I want this to go to everyone. Please share the video. For that, I want this to be an actual thing in an update, something. Hold down L2 and then bring up the D-pad and you can select your stances from there. So that way we can go Shiva back to Odin, then after Odin go straight to Garuda. That would have been crazy. The amount of combos, and the amount of mix-ups and the amount of guard canceling and all this kind of crazy stuff would have been crazy. It would have been even crazier than what we're seeing today. There's a lot of people out there that are straight up just playing the game and they mess up because they're cycling through their stances and they fuck up because they selected the wrong stance and they're not paying attention. So in my opinion, that's why Devil May Cry worked really well. Is because that's why you can like style on characters and bosses so well because it was bounded to the D-pad. Up was Trickster, right was Swordmaster, down was Royal Guard, and left was Gunslinger. It was perfect. There was nothing. There was no one. There was no one complaining about it there. So I don't know why would they try to make it different to the point of anything. I literally don't have too much problems with the controls. I mean, if they have a button mapping system, that would be perfect. The only thing I really want them to do is flip L1 and R1, so I can have L1 to evade and R1 for my lock on. I can do magic with L not L with triangle and all that stuff. I can use the basic face buttons, without using Type C or Type F. Um, if they just make it like Yakuza controls, basically they basically have the old Yakuza controls or whatever Yakuza is using now. Like pretty much it's the same button layout since the first game. I would be fine with those kind of controls. So Final Fantasy VII Remake type of controls too. Um, but yeah, if they actually implement this one simple thing, and all you have to do is go to just make it an option for people. So it would be like in the game settings. That's what I would place it in, is game settings. So it would be like a new option right here, and it would be like, do you want your icon selection to be hold or cycle? And it'll like demonstrate, like if you have it to hold, you can use the D-pad to use, up, left, down, um, or up, right, down, wherever it is, or you can just cycle it by just tapping the button. This would be a huge, huge, huge game changer. And I hope this reaches out to people. I hope this reaches out to the development team to do this sort of thing. Just hold it down and you can select like, up, left, down. That's it. Up, left, down. That's all we need. Just hold it down, select it from the D-pad, and you're out. And while you're holding L2, you can still attack. While you're holding L2, you can still attack and use the iconic abilities. In my opinion, this would be the best option to do. Literally, there's nothing holding it back. Just have a hold down button and just make it highlight. That's all you got to do. There's literally, I don't even think it's that much of a hard work to do, really. Um, Please, Yoshi P, put this in an update. I hope this can get through Twitter. I hope this can get through whoever at Square Enix, the community managers, maybe, I don't know, but holding down L2, bringing up the D-pad to select your icons would be a godsend. And also flipping L1 and R1. Those are literally the two things. I can deal with the frame rate. Hey, PlayStation 6, PlayStation 5 Pro is going to come out. It'll fix the frame rate. Don't worry about it. I can deal with that. I just want those two things. Flipping L1 and flip L1 R1 so I can have L1 to my evade and R1 for my lock on, and L1 for holding down L1 and going through your icons. That will be a godsend, literally a godsend. Thank you so much. I Again, guys, get this video noticed. I want this to be noticed by the team. I want this to be noticed by the Final Fantasy 14, 16 developers. Please, you guys made a good game, and that would be a godsend. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.